Hi, I'm Jonah Comstock, Editor-in-Chief at pharmaphorum. I'm here at the Biotech Showcase in San Francisco, and I'm joined by Hans Keirstead, the CEO of Immunis.
Thank you for having me.
So Immunis, really interesting, like next generation stuff. You're working with the secretome. What is that? How does that work?
Yeah, the secretome is a new drug category. Every drug you've ever taken, it targets one active ingredient. But for more complex diseases and immunological decline with age, for example, the single targets don't work. We don't have anti-aging drugs, for example. We don't have very many immunomodulators. To modulate a very, very complex system, you generally have relied on dirty drugs that have multiple side targets. We've engineered a secretome. It's actually the leading drug in its class for advancement and effect on through the clinical trials.
So what particular conditions are you targeting? Or is this an aging longevity?
Yeah. So we approach the problem of health span, lifespan by looking at the causative nature of it. And what causes the degeneration of your body is your degenerating immune system. Touches every organ. The immune system is the primary controller of muscle development, but 100% of us lose muscle with age. It's the primary determinant of your metabolism, your willpower, your energy, the fatness that you gain, the lethargy that you gain with age, that 100% of us are subject to. Those are the two most important things in health span, lifespan, and they are both controlled by the immune system. So rather than trying to find a single active ingredient to touch those very complex system, which, by the way, no one has ever done very well yet. GLP-1s have been doing a fantastic job on metabolic decline, right? But they have their issues as well. We have a single drug target that addresses the cause of metabolic decline and muscle decline, and that is an immunomodulator.
So how far along are you with this, and what's the kind of future look like for you?
We are really excited to have just obtained our phase 2A, double-blinded randomized, 5 different centers, our interim data on 50 people. And we have statistically significant accredited quality of life improvement in locomotion, gait speed, which is one of the 6 vital indicators of health. It's the most reliable indicator for health span and lifespan. So we picked a target that was pretty high, pretty, ostentatious goal, but we hit it out of the park in our per protocol assessment of our phase 2 data. Looking at what we said we'd look at in the broader population that we looked at, we have an enhanced effect well above placebo, and indeed a gait speed that is about 60% higher than what's considered an accredited quality of life improvement. So very, very exciting, and that locomotor benefit portends, you know, a, a benefit to multiple other systems, like we saw in our phase 1/2A, like we saw in our rodents. Fat reduction, for example, is also present in muscle and liver. The aging of the liver's reversed, aging of your muscles reversed, your metabolic systems, vascular stiffness. Modulating the immune system gets you a lot of benefits, but the top line, gait speed, and we knocked it out of the park.
So our whole regulatory system is built around treating disease, right?
Yeah.
And intervening against particular conditions. How do you bring something to market where the goal is to tackle aging? That's like,
Yeah, you need a multi-active ingredient. And so that means taking either a dirty drug that hits multiple targets. That's generally no good because the dirtiness of it, you're undoubtedly hitting targets that are, off target and perhaps are detrimental. And of course, we see lots of side effects with such drugs. The other way you can do it is to combine 50 or 450 different drugs, which is basically what people are doing now, taking supplements, behavioral modifications, food modifications, but it's not druggable, it's not reliable. There's no single bullet for that. But we've come up with that. We've got a single drug that is a new drug in a new drug category. It's called a secretome, the sum total of what is released by a cell. Of course, we generated young human immune system cells, and we farm them by the billions, collect their 440 secretions. Entirety of that soup, if you will, that secretome, is our drug. And what it does is it validates with phase 2 double-blinded randomized data secretomes as a druggable sector, druggable as a drug that can affect multiple physiological states.
So what's the go-to-market like for a drug that sort of like anyone could benefit from, right?
Yeah, it's what we're going to do is keep our blinders on and hit an rather ostentatious goal of enhancing locomotor ability in the aged, because that is the most important measure and metric and goal for health span. Because if you can walk better, you're burning more calories, your metabolic betterment is there, your muscles release brain drive neurotrophic factor that helps you with your cognition and memory. Muscles are the things that line your arteries and vessels. So your arterial stiffness that portends heart attacks and strokes with age reverses. So that immune modulation, we've got a primary outcome of gait speed, but it portends tremendous multi-system benefits. You can only do that with a multi-active biologic.
Great. Well, really interesting stuff. What's ahead for you guys and looking ahead to 2026, 2027? The
You
roadmap look
know,
like?
delighted to have hit this phase 2 interim data and have positive results, of course. But what that allows us to do now is open up a large funding round. It's a value increase for the company. We're delighted. But what that means really in a practical sense is we get to treat more patients for a broader range of aging deficits and move this thing forward and seek a partner to help us commercialize this, finish the last stages of the clinical testing in a manner that is commercially relevant.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.